Hello, the name is Daman Dev Sood. Welcome to my weekly show, My Top Tips, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. IST. Today, 10 uncomfortable questions for all leadership and all CMT. I want to begin with something slightly uncomfortable, a lot comfortable by the end of the talk. Recent discussions around Tata consultancy services have once again brought workplace conduct and Posh into focus. I'm not here to comment upon that case because in matters like these, truth must come from due process, not headlines. And truly speaking, we may never be able to know the real picture. But I'm here to ask a more important question. What if the real risk is not what happened there, but what could be happening silently here? Because in most organizations, Posh does not fail when a complaint is mishandled. It fails much earlier. It fails when no one speaks. Today, I'm not going to talk about policies, clauses, or compliance. I'm going to ask 10 uncomfortable questions. And I request you don't answer them quickly because the wrong answer is not no. The wrong answer is we have never thought about it. Let me start with the first question. Do you have a Posh system? Or do you have the illusion of one? You have policies, you have committees, you have training. But if a real case emerges tomorrow, will your system work? Or will it just exist on paper? Second question, how many people chose silence over reporting in the last 12 months? Not how many complaints you received, but how many people felt uncomfortable, felt unsafe, felt something was wrong, and still decided it's not worth it. If you don't know this number, your biggest risk is already invisible. Third question, at what point does an employee in your organization give up? Is it after the first inappropriate comment, after repeated discomfort, or after seeing what happened to someone else? Because every organization has a reporting threshold. And if that threshold is too high, the system will never activate. The RTO has a different meaning here. This means a reporting time objective. Set the valve pressure to low to blow. Let's go deeper now. Question 4. Do your employees even know when a line has been crossed? Or are they left thinking it was just a joke? Maybe I'm overreacting. This is how things work here. I need to live with these corporate nuances. In school days, children are taught the difference between good touch and bad touch. But in corporates, we assume Adults know it or they will just figure it out. That assumption is dangerous. Fifth, uncomfortable question. What really happens in the first 24 hours of a complaint? Not what policy says, but what actually happens. Who responds? How do they respond? Is the person protected or exposed? Because in that first response, trust is either built or permanently broken. Sixth question I'm raising today for leadership and CMT. You all, are you measuring trust or just usage? You perhaps often say low complaints. That's a good sign. Is it? Or does it mean fear, distrust, learned silence? Silence is not success. Silence is often suppression. In my Azansa times, when I was the global BC manager and the member of India Operations Board, sitting in one of the board meetings, we realized that our incident log tool had zero entries, while about 30 other members were clapping for ourselves. I said, hold on, it's only a zero reported or logged in, not necessarily a zero happened. Perhaps people didn't log in. And then we need to go deep into the reasons. The policy is not known, the system is not known, it's too complex, it's not user friendly, they don't trust us. That's the worst point for the leadership. When your people do not trust in you, in your policies, in your systems, in your processes. Now, let's talk about control and accountability with question number 7. When was the last time you tested your Posh system? Not reviewed, not discussed, but tested when people didn't know they were being tested. Because an untested control is not a control, it is just an assumption. Moving to question number 8. What happens after the complaint is closed? Big discussion can be around how it is closed. How is a complaint treated? Not picking up that due to time constraints today. Question number 8, I'm repeating, is what happens after the complaint is closed? We close the case. You close the case, I believe. But what happens to the person? People involved in the case. The one who did and the one who was victimized. Do they stay? Do they go? Or do they quietly disappear? Because retaliation does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And those whispers destroy trust faster than any incident. I've been talking about building the resilience culture, a culture where you, the leadership, and the CMTs are able to see what is not visible, read what is not written, understand what is within heart and mind. Second last question, question number 9. Are your bystanders silent or responsible? When someone sees discomfort, do they intervene? Do they escalate? or do they look away? Because culture is not defined by victims, it is defined by witnesses. And finally, uncomfortable question number 10, the most uncomfortable question. If the person involved was senior, influential, high performing, would your systems behave the same way with the same speed, objectivity, courage, openness, and action? Because this is where governance is truly tested. Let me leave you with one thought. We often ask, most likely, I'm assuming you often ask, do we have a posh policy? But the real question is, do our people feel safe enough to use it? And the most important question of all, do our controls work when no one is watching? This extension is very important. Do our controls work when no one is watching? Because before the fire, there is always smoke. Before escalation, there is always discomfort. Before complaints, there is always silence. And if you're not listening to that silence, then you are not managing risk. You are merely documenting it. Posh is not a policy. It is a test of leadership courage. And like every real test, it does not happen when things are easy. It happens when it is most uncomfortable to do the right thing. If you would like someone to play the devil's advocate in testing your Posh framework or system, I'm happy to help. With this, closing today's discussions, which were around Posh, I presented 10 uncomfortable questions for all leadership and CMTs. They must discuss these today. Tomorrow is going to be too late. Any questions around this or about resilience as a field? Please do write to me and I will be happy to respond. Logging off, your host, Daman, Daman Dev Sood from my weekly show, My Top Tips, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. IST. I look forward to seeing you all every Wednesday. Thank you. Bye bye. A very important point to say during these discussions, Posh discussions, is posting a Posh poster is Posh washing. Posting a Posh poster is Posh washing. Please do not do this. Also, today being 22nd April, let's do our bit for the Earth. This is Earth Day. I commit to use the digital devices less today. Thanks. Bye bye.